The most important part of delegating is making sure the job that that person has to do is very simple and they can use a framework to make decisions in a good way. Hello and welcome to the Sweaty Startup. I'm going to talk to you about delegation, the hardest, the most important part of getting wealthy. Got a couple thoughts. I'll give you a couple examples and I'll give you kind of a true fact that I made up. The true fact that I made up is that 99% of business owners suck at delegation, suck at it. When it comes to management tasks, meaning a task that's not simply, hey, go here and do this, or look at this and do that, or answer the phone and do this. When you are delegating labor tasks, somebody riding a lawnmower for you or driving a box truck, that's one thing. When it comes to delegating management tasks, that's what I'm talking about. Replacing you as a business owner. And when I say management tasks, I mean somebody doing the work to make a decision that impacts the business's bottom line, whether it be quoting jobs, whether it be hiring or training employees, whether it be selling new work, whether it be deciding whether or not to buy something. All those things that you as a business owner get overloaded doing. Now, 99% of business owners absolutely suck at delegating that stuff, and that's why they work way too much and they're underpaid. Now, you can't learn this stuff from a book. Well, first of all, I'll say that you don't have to be great at it to make really good money. If you are in the top 20th percentile and you're actually willing to take the risk to start a business and actually try to delegate management practices and you're in a decent business, you can get wealthy. If you're willing to try to delegate, you can get pretty darn wealthy. If you're in the top 1% and you're in that 1% that's actually good at delegating, you can get ultra wealthy. Now, you can't learn this from a book. I made this post on Twitter and the first response, many of the people, hey, can you recommend some resources? Like, what can I read on doing this? And there is no resources. There are no solutions and things that make this easy. That's why it is freaking hard. You learn delegation by practicing clear and concise communication and empowering your employees to make decisions using a framework you create. You create a framework and your employees, and you clearly and concisely and simplify it to a level where it's easy to communicate and easy to take action on for your employees to fit into the system. And then you try it. You fail, you learn, and you try it again. That's it. Clear and concise communication, meaning, hey, I'm not going to overload them with a bunch of information they don't need. I'm going to give them very simple instructions that allow them to do what needs to be done in this company to succeed. And when you're talking about management decisions, it starts with a goal. Hey, here's what we're trying to do. Here's what we're trying to accomplish. Here is some sample decisions that you might have to make. And this is what you should decide in each of these sample scenarios. What is happening what would you do in this situation? What would you do in that situation? Okay, let's think about this through a framework lens. What are the goals of the company? Maximize profit. What are the goals of this decision we're making? Maybe maximize revenue. What are the goals of this new hire that we're trying to make? Oh, talk to customers in a nice and polite way. Okay, so if those are our goals, what should be the decision that we make here? Okay, well, maybe that grouchy, really competent 50-year-old is not a good customer service rep. Maybe we need a younger, bubbly, nice person answering phones for customers. But maybe when it comes to collection calls, that person is a little rough around the edges and pretty straight up. Maybe that's the person who should chase down people for money inside of our company. These are some of the decisions that we might have to make when we're hiring somebody that generally me as the owner do, but now I don't do. So the most underrated part of this, well, actually, before I get into that, as you try and learn, you start with giving employees simple decisions. And if they make good decisions, you give them more important decisions. If they make bad decisions, you take them back a step. They say, think about the glass ceiling approach for employees, meaning everybody rises to the level of their incompetence and they stop there and they stay at a place and they're doing a job where they're incompetent at it. Don't make that mistake. As you give employees decisions and as you think about the decisions that they make, and as you analyze the results of their decisions, if they did a good job, then give them more decisions. Give them more important decisions. If they continue to do a good job, give them more important decisions. If they do a bad job, I don't give them a lot of rope. If they make poor decisions at the beginning, okay, this is where you are in our company. Maybe you don't even have a place in our company. So if they make good decisions, give them more important future decisions. If they make bad decisions, give them less important future decisions. The most underrated part of this, the most underrated part of all of this is finding a good business. I started in a hard business, and it's not a linear, it's not just, oh, I'm starting out, I'm a new entrepreneur, I'm going to find a really good business to do. It is, I'm going to work my way to a good business. I'm going to start with a shitty business where I'm trading my time for money, and it's low capital intensive. I don't have any capital. It's low risk. If this business fails, it's not that big of a deal. And you use it to make money, and you learn a shitload about delegating. You learn a shitload about delegating in a low risk environment. So you start at the bottom, you earn capital, you trade your time for money, and you're in a low risk business. Then you move, you transition to maybe more higher value work. You're finding your wheelhouse. You're finding that 20% of work that's generating 80% of your results. Your business is evolving, or getting into a new business altogether when you have capital. So you use that capital to go from that harder business to an easier business with maybe more at stake, maybe more risk, maybe more capital that you're investing. And you repeat that system until you're in a really good business. Now, what's the difference between a really good business and a really shitty business? I was in a really shitty business for 10 years. Pickup and delivery student storage was a shitty business. We had 6 full-time employees and 300 part-time employees. We were doing pickup and delivery student storage in major cities all across the country the same week every single year. We had to staff up college kids who didn't care about the job to drive box trucks with the right equipment to be at the right place at the right time to pick up fragile personal belongings, put them in a truck, take them to a warehouse, organize them in a warehouse, and then take them back to the customer wherever they move next year. All that in 12 states, 25 major colleges, all at the same time. My partner and I could only be in one location. That was a low risk business. We didn't invest any outside capital. We didn't raise any money. We didn't take on any debt. We bootstrapped the whole thing. That's what I mean by risk. We didn't put a lot of our capital at risk. Then from there, we learned a ton and we made some money. We put $500 grand in the bank and we decided we're going to go to a little bit easier business with a little bit more risk. Self-storage development. We built a self-storage facility in 2017. Still not a great business, a lot of risk, a lot of new developments, really stressful. We went way over budget and we used a lot of what we learned to do well in that business. It went well. And then we upgraded again in 2019 to a better business of self-storage operations. We went out and bought some self-storage facilities with our own money. Moved up the chain again, a little bit easier of a business. Oh, no moving parts, no deliveries, no employees. Maybe 3 or 4 employees can manage $10 million worth of real estate. That's a lot better of a business than a pickup and delivery student storage business where best case scenario, you get about $1.5 million of enterprise value. You have a ton of risk, a ton of stress. You're on the road, all these things. You got to delegate all this stuff. You got to have all these employees, on and on and on. We go from that to self-storage development, that to self-storage acquisition and management, and now to where we are now, which is real estate private equity. A simple business without a lot of moving parts. We're putting capital to work. It's higher risk from our capital perspective, but it is a damn good business. It's simple. We can train it. Our team is growing fast. We have 30 people working for us now. I play golf almost every single day. That is the difference. We went from a very hard business, very low risk, very low reward, to a little bit easier business, higher risk, higher reward, a little bit easier business, higher risk, higher reward, a little bit easier business, higher risk, higher reward. But we use those things you learn about delegating, about finding people to work for you. You use it as you go. Too many people spend their entire careers in shitty businesses. I think that is a problem. So that's about all I have. I mean, there is no magic answer here. I spend almost all my time now as a leader of our company finding and recruiting and trying to hire good people who, they're not going to just come to you. You don't just post a job and get good people walking in the door. The good people already have jobs. You got to go find them and recruit them and steal them from other companies. We've done that well. And Then it's about giving them clear and concise directions, simplifying their job. The most important part of delegating is making sure the job that person has to do is very simple and they can use a framework to make decisions in a good way. In our real estate private equity company, it's easy. Our underwriting is simple. We have very specific things about a self-storage facility that make them good buys for us. We can pay X, we can pay Y. We can pay X, it's going to cost this much. Our returns are going to be Y, blah, 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 on down the list. Very simple. Everybody's blocking and tackling. Nobody needs to be a superhero in our business. Nobody needs to stay up all night and sleep in a warehouse like they did back in our old business. We needed superheroes to make that business work. We don't need superheroes to make this business work. And that's where we are. So take from this what you will. You may need to spend some time thinking about these concepts and what it means to you, your business and you. But if you can delegate well, you will get ultra, ultra wealthy. This episode of Sweaty Startup is brought to you by supportshepherd.com. SHEPHERD. They are a full-service headhunting agency in the Philippines to help you find talent for your service business at 20% of the cost of U.S. equivalents. I've hired 8 employees through Support Shepherd. I cannot speak highly enough about how it is revolutionizing my business. This company finds you candidates. They background check them. They do personality tests. They make sure they're a good fit based on your job description. They set up the interviews, and they even help you with the employment contract when you're ready to make the hire. I cannot recommend them enough. Check out supportshepherd.com to learn more.